So things are a lot different than they were 10 years ago. I didn't just wake up one day and decide to start calling lenders to figure out who was funding what. Okay. Um, this is something that I have literally been planning since the last day, uh, since the day, 2000, it was October 2000, I don't know. This is something that I've been planning ever since I left. I was able to convince myself to leave because I was like, okay, so what you're gonna do is get better, you're gonna improve, you're gonna learn more, and um, when you come back, you're gonna be 10 times stronger, 10 times smarter, you're gonna be more talented, better at everything, and then that will be the rest of your life. So that helped with the pain a little bit, but it was still very difficult. Um, so in the years since, as I told you, my adventure to the automotive industry, but I've also taught myself how to build websites, marketing, all that stuff. All right. So when it was time to come back, I did a lot of searching for the right team, and I found Innovative Mortgage, and I decided to join them because I really, really like how they're set up. So let's talk a little bit about Innovative Mortgage. Um, Innovative Mortgage is mostly a correspondent lender. Okay, this is the CEO, Brian Elric. Super nice guy, super cool guy, uh, and he's the founder and CEO of Innovative. He's mostly a back end guy. You know, we're not really pushing Innovative Mortgage out there, in front of people. So he's very comfortable, unlike anybody else I have ever met. He's very comfortable allowing me to market my own website. So I don't always have to be pushing Innovative, uh, but I always do because Mr. Brian Elric here, as you can see, CEO, General Counsel, and I just learned this right now when I was looking for some info about him. He's a realtor too. He's a realtor, licensed originator, CEO. But he's also, I saw this Juris Doctorate, and I had to look it up. He has his doctorate degree in law. This guy. So you can imagine how good he is at understanding like all the documentation and stuff. So what I like about Innovative, what I really, really like about Innovative, is that we're correspondents, and I feel like it makes me feel like I have an edge on brokers, and I do. I built this with my own two hands. All right. Now the goal for the website, and really this was before I found the platform that we're going to discuss here. The goal was to simplify the documentation process as much as possible while at the same time reducing the workload for me, and because it would allow me to manage more loans, and I had to do like less preparation when I was working all those deals at the same time. It was extremely overwhelming for me with all the paperwork and all that stuff. It was really overwhelming. But I got a lot of it done, banged it out, and I had somebody that also really believed in me. Well, a couple people actually, like three people that really, really believed in me, and that would come in and they would help me out, and they were just like, they were just fighting for the cause. Uh, um, I forgot where I was going with that. So, anyways, yeah. Oh, the paperwork. So, yeah, it was a nightmare. So I remembered that, and I wanted to simplify that process because I feel it would make the lending experience a little bit better and easier. So this is what I came on. It took me. I thought it was going to take me. Oh yeah, a week, maybe two. It took me like 6 weeks. It was a pain. But it works, and it comes out, it's pretty decent, because there's a lot of like CRMs and softwares out there for mortgage brokers, but they only do residential, and I definitely want to. Not doing commercial is not an option, and since things seem very uncertain, I also wanted to offer business loans. So unlike the CRMs, I'm able to do all three, and I'm able to do all three, and depending on the loan type and some of the early pre-qualifications, is going to ask for different documents in different forms. Uh, and in this case, this is, and I know we're correspondent on the residential side. I'm not sure. I'm not 100% sure on the commercial side. But this is one of our lenders, and here we do. They do offer some commercial loan. They do offer commercial loans. It is a bridge loan program. Um, so I would have to go in, fill out all this data by hand, fill out all this data by hand. We generate the term sheet. Actually, no, it's not that bad. I thought I had to do a lot more. So it's just this, and then I can generate the term sheet, one page. So that's not bad. Um, and then I would be able to generate the term sheet. I hope this video is not too long. So you know what? I just I'm not sure. Okay, and then this is what we end up seeing. Guys, Ryan Alric. All right, it's under Ryan's name. He's the boss. Yeah. So there's that, and then if I wanted to like if I wanted to compare that quote to another lender, I would just, I can go through here and find somebody else, and then either I find a rate sheet. It's what I'm trying to communicate is that it's a pretty in-depth process. Now, I don't have any dummy uh, tax returns, and I definitely want to show you how that works. Even though you made a really good point, and the answer, we just have to input it. We would just input it manually in that case. I'm going to show you that in a second. The answer to your, like, well, what if it's a purchase? You're not going to have tax returns. Which, you know what? I didn't even really think about. I was so excited about how it works that I didn't even. And I'm like, you know what? You said it, and I was like, holy smokes, he's right. So, in case of a purchase, which you guys are underwriting anyways, with the, you know, essentially, tell me this, along with a purchase contract, this purchase contract, personal financial statement, and I think that's everything. But with that, I'll be able to get you pricing and a term sheet. But that's actually for later. Okay, so what I want to do, I don't have any dummy tax returns. I do want to show you how that works, and it does also work for the rent roll and some of the other information. Um, uh, what I have is a video that I recorded, and I'm going to insert it right here, and then I'm going to come back and we'll take a look at the next step after what happens in the video. All right? If you're ready, then you can. I'm here to work for you. I'm here to give you information. I'm here to answer your questions. And this is always me. All right. Okay, so here, after you submit your information into us, I'm going to come over here. I'm going to drag and drop the information that you submit in. This is the personal financial statement. And as you can see, it files processing, and bam, there it is. So you see here we have all the fields are pre-populated, and it just read it from that PDF file. It might seem like a small thing, but what this does is save an incredible amount of time. I'm just going to pick a commercial real estate loan here. You're going to see we can pick the term, loan program, documentation type, reason for the loan, and of course we can work with all property types. Some of the basic information here about the request, estimated credit score, and then whether or not you can verify your income, along with some disclosures. A little bit of property information here. Just put the loan amount here again, and the amortization, along with the income that it's collecting. There's some tax information. This a little bit too much. Okay. Insurance, a little extra there. And then in the next step, you'll see here we can upload the tax returns. Now, the system is built to read all schedules, all types of tax returns. And we can go up to 3 years. The minimum will be 1 year. If you can't find them, or if you just want to be careful, if you give us 1 year, we can get you a quote. But if there's big differences in the previous 2 years, if there's a big difference from the 1 year that you give us in years previous, it might be okay, but just please let us know up front. But look at how quickly this happens. So it's reading the tax returns, and it's filling in all the spaces. This is something that normally happens manually. So this report that has been automatically generated after the paperwork is processed and the cash flow statement is generated. And again, the big thing there is that, because you have a spreadsheet. You guys use the spreadsheet, and your group uses the spreadsheet to analyze the transactions. So that report can be generated. It's not that big of a deal. It's impressive, but it's not that big of a deal. What is impressive, what is a bigger deal, is that it is connected. They are tied in. They are tied in directly to the underwriting system for multiple lenders. Tied in directly, it's over 100 lenders. It's over 100 lenders that they're tied into directly. So what it does is just speed up the process, and I find very important, it speeds up the declinations. You know, people fill out those forms, and I think I mentioned this on the form. People fill out that packet, and they get all the documents together. If they're doing that like just regular, with a manila folder, and here's all my paperwork, 55% closing rate. 55%. And you know what? After, yeah, I believe it. All the deals that I've seen, I believe it. Some people are not, they don't see their situation clearly. And I don't, anyways. And you see that I'm getting pricing, just a few minutes, getting pricing from 5 different lenders. And then you can see the variance. And I want to verify this, but imagine what your cash flow statement, the internal rate of return and the cash on cash return, going from 2.9, which it looks like Pinnacle is at. Again, I want to verify that. But it looks like starting at 2.9. That makes me believe that I need to do some further checking. But 2.9%, and these guys up to 5.4%. And and we can look at things like the payment, the kind of prepayment penalty. So, for example, in the course, which I did the entire course, sometimes I sleep every other night. Um, and I did that. Last night I didn't sleep, but I'm very used to it, and I love it. Just because I was talking about prepay. So, in a situation like this, if the idea is to take out the investors as soon as possible, so we can make that cash on cash really explode. Um, if the idea is to take the investors out as soon as possible, we would be able to uh, we will be able to do something with no prepay. We can do something with no prepay, or we will be able to. I will be able to give you options. I will be able to give you options since there are multiple lenders and they have multiple options. And once I click apply, I mean, assuming it, then I'm not going to, because these numbers are just completely fabricated. But if I click apply, and you see here, it's a 1-2-3 debt service coverage ratio. And some lenders have a 1-2-5 minimum. So it's likely that with better numbers, we may have better options, or we have more options. I mean, so if in case of, no, we already talked about that. So yeah, anyways, this is what I see. And not there are other options, but there are other things that are here, because through this same platform, uh, they tell me I can SBA loans, because of how it's set up. uh, we save about 3 weeks from the underwriting time for commercial loans and for SBA loans. So normally is a 60-day close. I'm sure for permanent financing, at least. Of course, bridge loans and these sorts of things are going to be less, and there's things that are in the middle. But instead of 60 days, we're shaving 3 weeks off of that. So imagine how much faster it is. I mean, it's about half the time, roughly. 4 or 5 weeks, and that is, it's very realistic. So, yeah, it's an incredibly powerful platform. I am incredibly psyched about it, and I appreciate the opportunity of you allowing me to explain it to you. Now, look, again, as I mentioned, I am the worst person in the world at carrying hidden agendas. I just, bah, you know. So, I mean, in a perfect world, not that it would be mandated. That would be crazy, but in a perfect world, I want to crack at every single deal. And I'm not saying you gotta go with me, but let me get you a term sheet. Let me do this. Let me get you a term sheet on every single deal, for both purchases and refis. You Even if you're just curious, or planning ahead, I will happily run the numbers for you guys, and let you know what's realistic. And this is not at all my only source. My only sources. This is my preferred source because of the closing time, and that's why I call myself Lightning Loans. But if something other than is needed, um, banks are lending now, and I'm not going to get those crazy low land values or whatever that will just completely destroy the whole deal. So in this, if if other options are needed, my friend, uh, I know how to find lenders, and I'm not shy, and I have another platform. My other platform is actually even bigger. It's 5,000 lenders. I have a platform. It's not quite this advanced, and I like this one because, again, it shortens the closing time. The other one is going to be more traditional, but there's 5,000 lenders all over the country. 5,000 lenders all over the country, doing a little bit of everything. a little bit of everything. So there's a little bit of everything in that one. So yeah, there's other alternatives, and what I can promise you is that you will not find a more dedicated person, a more hardworking person,